Hello world, welcome to another episode brought to you by the Brown Shirts. And man, what a weekend for the Utah Jazz, the number one seed, the surprising number one seed. They had a pretty positive weekend. First, they ended a 3-game losing streak, defeating the Phoenix Suns, where Devin Booker put up 49 points and 10 rebounds. But the efforts by their all-star, the current all-star, Lauri Markkenen, with 38 points, with an amazing go-ahead turnaround fadeaway jump shot over the star player in Phoenix, Devin Booker. This game was fun to watch. Both teams were showing a great display of perimeter performance from both sides. Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges. Just great performances, despite the fact that the Phoenix Suns didn't have their point guard, Chris Paul. Even though the Jazz put up a great amount of threes, they turned the ball over a lot. They fouled quite a bit. The Phoenix Suns did have a lot of fast break points, but it eventually came down to the wire. Their second game they played last night against the Portland Trail Blazers. They had 3 guys in 20-plus points: Lauri Markkenen, Malik Beasley, and Jordan Clarkson. 20-plus points, 2 guys in the starting lineup, and Malik Beasley off the bench with 29. Even though the Blazers didn't really, their star player, Damian Lillard, he struggled from the field, 2 of 14. He had a bit of an injury. He left the game around the third quarter, as well as Mike Conley, which is a key player for the Utah Jazz moving forward. I hope he can stay healthy and come back to the next game, as well as Damian Lillard. But also, this was also a great display because Jordan Clarkson was on a tear in that fourth quarter, scoring 15 of his 28 points in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. It was just like it was insane. He was going ballistic. Malik Beasley was also a great catalyst for the Utah Jazz, being the leader of that second unit. He scored 15 in that second quarter. So it's like the Utah Jazz, despite the fact that they got their butts destroyed by Joel Embiid this week, they're a pretty solid team. And I had doubts when Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert left. I thought they were going to complete rebuilds. But with a few things that I've seen from the Utah Jazz, they're actually a pretty legitimate team going forward, maybe contend for the playoffs. One of them that was interesting is their great three-point shooting team. Most of the time, they're beating their opponents by 14 points from the three-point line. And secondly, they can defend the three pretty well. So they're shooting the ball from deep at an exceptional rate, and they're also defending it. So every single time they're giving their team a chance to win games. Also, they have 4 guys who can create their shot: Malik Beasley, Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley, and Colin Sexton coming off the bench. And Colin Sexton is also a great addition to this team. He can put the ball on the floor, put pressure on the tall guys who are guarding him way out in the perimeter. He's a great finisher around the rim. And Lauri Markkenen, he's been playing incredible. I saw some glimpses of this when he was playing for Cleveland last season. And he did show some flashes when he played for the Chicago Bulls, but not so much like this. Like, Markkenen is highly skilled. Like, he showed some things to me that were very outstanding. He's so good moving without the ball. A few plays, he got some easy cuts. Just nice dunks, great finishes around the rim. He's 6'10", so he could shoot over anybody around that turnaround, like around that mid post section, especially the one he had over Devin Booker. He's very skilled. He has a multitude of ways that he could score. Them being the top 5 offenses in scoring and assists per game. I think they put up almost 30 assists per game, and they're one of the best teams in scoring, like almost 111 points a game. They're offensively, they're really good. One thing I do fear about the Jazz is that they're kind of small. When they play against teams that are balanced on, shooting from the inside and the outside, like the Sixers, and you have a big guy like Joel Embiid, they're going to get banged up quite a bit because they don't really have a lot of players that can compete in the front court, despite the skill from Kelly Olynyk. I mean, they got guys who can stretch the floor, and they can bring guys out there. They can probably bring Embiid, guys like Giannis or Gobert, just Miles Turner, Anthony Davis, big players who play the power forward or the center. They can bring them out a little bit and they can make an impact. But the way the league is shaping up right now, probably like maybe 5 or 6 teams that have very dominant power forwards and centers. They're a little bit comparable to the Miami Heat from point guards to center position. But I think the Utah Jazz has a little bit more firepower shooting the ball. Their marksmanship is a little bit better. Do I think they have a chance to finish number one? I don't think so. The best teams in the league are probably going to have like 5 to 8 game winning streaks moving forward. But the teams that I have expected to perform at a higher level, especially with the Golden State Warriors, the Minnesota Timberwolves, I don't even know why I thought the Minnesota Timberwolves would perform better, but I thought they would perform much better. But hey, they look sharp, and I'm very impressed by what Will Hardy is doing so far. It makes me wonder what the moves are going to be like coming into the offseason, but we're so far away from the offseason and trades. But if I were to make any slight adjustments to the Utah Jazz, I would see if I can find a guy who can, fill up that front court. If they can get a guy like Miles Turner, but the way the Pacers are playing right now, I think they're probably going to lock him in. The Utah Jazz, I mean, all in all, like I think they got a shot to win maybe 40 to 50 plus games. I mean, they seem like they can at least get 45 wins this season. And I believe that Lauri Markkenen is going to be an all-star, an improved player. I mean, he made a huge jump from points per game last year. I think he was averaging like 14 points, and now this guy's well over 24 plus points a game. The field goal percentage is quite around the same. He's taking a lot more shots. He's making more and taking more shots. I think Malik Beasley right now, I would have him as the number one for the 6th man of the year. I mean, he's absolutely balling this season. I mean, shooting at a high clip. He's been their X factor, honestly, from the second unit. I mean, when you have a guy who can come off the bench, including Colin Sexton, to create their own shot and create, some plays for their team. I mean, you have the combo guard in Colin Sexton, but more so I want to talk about Malik Beasley. He's an exceptional shooter. So this gives Mike Conley a slight break, as far as like being a guy that needed to score and make plays, which was like my fear for Mike Conley being this stage in his career where Donovan Mitchell's no longer on this team. So the fact that they have 2 guys who can help Mike Conley fill that role is pretty good for them. They just seem a lot deeper right now when they had their 2 superstars last season. We'll see how far this goes. I really hope the best for the Utah Jazz. You know me, I really love small market franchises in the NBA. I think it's really interesting stories to see, and I'm excited for fans who enjoy basketball in whatever city. Despite the fact that y'all Utah fans in the arena are so horrible to some of the players like Russell Westbrook. I mean, you guys have a history of being super mean, but I got to speak up for the Sixers fans too. Sixers fans, like, they suck sometimes. I say they because I'm not as rough as them, but we just expect greatness. That's all. I don't think we're as mean as the Utah Jazz, but that's just me. Anyway, let me know what you think. Where do you think the Utah Jazz will fall? I think they would fall around, maybe the top 4 or 5 seeds in the Western Conference. What say you? Have a good one. Peace.